Hello and welcome to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 4, episode 4, and today we've chosen our game to stop off at. It's an FA Cup tie against Peterborough in the first round. They're in our league, it's Sunday afternoon, and we're on Football Focus. That's right, since you were last with me, we're still top of the league. We've got a little cushion. We've not been in brilliant form, but we've still scored the most goals in the division. We've just got to work out a way of sorting out this leaky defence. We've only got the 12th best defensive record in the league, which is absolutely appalling considering we're top. If we take you through the schedule, we have had a few games off camera. So you were with me in the last episode for that Checker Trade Trophy game against Chelsea where we really played well and Nelson got back to scoring ways with a hat-trick. We then played away to Carlisle in the league, one of the biggest trips in English football, from one of the furthest points south all the way up to the top of Northern England. We managed to nick a draw in that one. We went ahead on a stroke of half-time through Shenton. Carlisle equalised in the second half and the red card was a bit too late to have much of an impact on the match. However, we then played one of the top 4 sides at the time, Forest Green, at home. We battered them 4-1. We were brilliant in this game. Westbrook and Nelson with a penalty before Owen Jack got a brace. Those goals left us 4-0 up on the hour mark. They did get one back, but it was quickly followed by a red card, which meant we were able to see out the game comfortably. However, away to Scunthorpe in the following game, we produced one of our worst performances of the season. We just seemed to throw the odd one in, like we did against Cheltenham. We were absolutely outplayed and deservedly lost 2-0. But in the last game we played at home to Oldham, another one we nearly threw it away. We went 1-0 down and 2-1 down, but luckily Nick Freeman turned up after a terrible performance with a wonderful goal in the last minute of the game. We've played a friendly because we've had a 2-week gap between these episodes. In fact, a day over that because this one's been moved to the Sunday. And now we've only got a 2-day gap until we play Stevenage in the Checker Trade Trophy on Tuesday. Luckily, we're already through in that one following our 2 wins at the start of the competition. So we can play any players we want in that one in theory. And then straight after that, you can see we've got Peterborough again in a league tie this time. After this episode in the FA Cup match, we're going to come back on New Year's Day for Yeovil when the opening of the transfer window. They're right up there in 3rd place at the minute. They're one of the most local clubs to us, and I've just got a feeling it's going to be an absolutely brilliant game. So that will be the following episode. But we've got to focus on the FA Cup today. It's the only competition we haven't been involved in yet this season. But there are a couple of new players that could be considered for team selection in this one. Our scouts have been finding some brilliant free transfers over the last few months, and we've managed to get a couple of them into the club for some added depth across the squad. So if we go to our history, you can take a look at them now. Just the 2 signings and one that's gone out. So Devine went out on loan. We'd mentioned that was going to happen in the last one, and we've replaced him with another central midfielder who's far superior at the moment. So Jack Clark, he's a 3-star central midfielder with 4-star ability. He's played for Dundalk over in Ireland, had a few games for Villa, and he's played at Foyld, who are at this level now as well, though I think that was in the National League at the time. He's a really good solid player, natural in the box-to-box role, and you can just see attribute-wise, he's a little step up, a natural left footer, gets forward when possible, and he's going to be the perfect understudy for Shenton with a view to taking over from him towards the end of the season as his loan ends and he goes back to Stoke. We've managed to stay within our wage structure, so he's on $1,200 a week, which isn't bad at all, and we've still got one of the lowest wage bills in the division, which is remarkable considering we're top. He's just getting fit at the moment, so probably won't start today, but we'll definitely get the full 90 minutes on Tuesday night. The other one falls under the same category. Elliot Lee, a former Luton Town player, currently there in real life doing brilliant things for the club. He's just won Player of the Month in League One in real life as well, so he's got some talent, the kid. Not really rated too well in comparison on here. He plays in the number 10 role for Luton and got Player of the Month there, and here he can't play there at all. So it's a little bit strange, but we're using him as a centre forward. The perfect backup for Jack Ambrosia, especially with international duty where Nelson just hasn't really cut it this year. So he's 3-star ability with 3.5 potential. He's quick, he's got good finishing, he's agile, he's composed, and he's got a decent run off the ball. But he's a wonderful player and he's going to be the perfect 3rd choice centre forward, and I've got no doubts he may overtake Broja as the season goes on. He likes to place his shots as well, which is a trait that I'm really keen on strikers to have. 2 sub appearances so far, but again he'll definitely get his start on Tuesday night. So that's enough about off-the-field action. We want to talk about the 11 we've got out there today. Let's get into it. It's a Sunday kick-off as we mentioned. We're very slight favourites against Peterborough today, and we've got the following lineup to go for it. With the Checkatrade game in just 48 hours time, it's so important for us to play our first team in this one and keep the reserves for that game in a couple of days time. We've got a couple of players going on international duty as well, so we need to look after them beforehand. The lineup today means we've got Bass in goal, Facey makes his return from injury with McCabe at left back, and then Davis and Byrne in the middle. Walker and Freeman are the wingers with Shenton and Westbrook in central midfield, and Jack and Broder are the front two. We've got some of the new players on the bench. Both Lee and Clark make it. Phillips is just coming back from injury. He'll play with Clark on Tuesday night. And we're all in all looking fairly strong across the board, as we have plenty of options across the squad. We will try and tweak our tactics slightly as we go on to sort out our defensive mess. But other than that, we're in absolutely fantastic shape. And we can't complain with the way we're playing going forward. So let's get into this one and see if we can get through to the second round. Okay, it's a 4-2-3-1 for Peterborough. They've got an attacking midfielder here, Chapman. We tried to sign him as our left winger during the summer on loan, but he chose Peterborough over us. The loanee from Stoke. He could have been partnering Shenton again. Maybe they don't get on, I don't know. Let's go and give the team talk. We've made a couple of tactical tweaks as well, as we tell them to pick up where they left off. We've pushed up the line of engagement for attackers and our defensive line just to standard, and we've also asked the goalkeeper to distribute more quickly as we try and hit teams on the counter. They've got an injury, but we're not worried about that. He's not ready to start a match, Elliot Lee, which is why he hasn't. And Kevin Watson's unemployed. But again, that doesn't really matter to us at the moment. Owen Jack with the kick-off. And what colour's that football? That is awful. You can barely see it on the pitch. The long ball over the top. I know the FA Cup's pretty famous for picking ridiculously coloured balls at the moment. It looks pink. And then it's not really come across well. But O'Keefe's got the ball on the edge. Goes for the shot and it's just wide. And we have a goal kick with Alex Bass. It's a throw-in on the right-hand side for Peterborough. They've had the early run in here, which is a bit of a concern. Chapman gets the ball to O'Keefe, and I'm not convinced that's a standard defensive line. They look very deep. Fords goes back to Whelan, who knocks it over the top. Byrne heads away and Westbrook flicks it on. Freeman will bring it away down the right-hand side, now over halfway. Jack takes it in, but unfortunately it's a poor touch and he gives the ball away. Tony's running. He's got it to the edge of the box. McCabe loses out. In the last game, he got a rating in the 5s because he made an error, and he's done the same again at the start of this one, and we are going out of the FA Cup at the first hurdle due to some terrible left-back performances. No matter what we've done in this save, we've never been able to get the left-back playing well, and I just don't understand why that is. Let me know in the comments if you've had the same problem at fullback. We haven't had it with Dearman at Slough in your head coach, but in this save we've just not been able to make it happen. Here's O'Keefe heads away to Freeman. Byrne in the middle to Davis. Davis into Shenton in midfield. He's got to switch to the right to Freeman, who takes on the fullback, delivers the ball, but it's hit the first man. It's really poor play, and then he loses it the second time as well. Facey recycles possession and switches to McCabe. Tom Walker, puts it in, and it's put wide at the post by Owen Jack. We've dominated the game, as we have so often this season, but after half an hour, we're trailing 1-0. We've got a free kick with Tom Walker, whips it in from the left. The keeper fluffs at it, and Davis puts it into the empty net. Awful goalkeeping by Townsend. He flapped at it. It went 2-3 yards forward at most, and Aaron Davis just looped it into the open goal. Wonderful stuff, and we've got a lifeline in this game. Worthington heads the ball away and Shenton wins the header, but Nichols is coming forward for Peterborough as we get caught out again. Here's Nichols again, 30 yards out in the middle of the pitch. Finds the goal scorer, back to O'Keefe. Now Chapman on the edge. We mentioned him already, but Bass makes the save and made it look a little bit more difficult than it was. It's behind for a corner and it will be an in-swinger from O'Keefe. He delivers towards the front post. Jack heads away. Falls for Chapman again and now Gillespie. And now Worthington to Whelan. Back to Gillespie again. He's got the ball on the right-hand side, but they're just keeping possession in there. And they're starting to dominate the game since the goal, which is a little bit of a worry. But with 10 minutes to the break, we're still level. We've got a throw in from the left with McCabe. Good attacking position. Broder flicks it on for Jack and it's a wonderful save. Townsend's made amends there and it's cleared for a throw on the opposite side. But now it's Peterborough with a throw on the left. Facey wins it back, but it's a long ball over from Peterborough. Davis does brilliantly there, so composed at the back, and Freeman brings it over halfway to Jack. He's got Shenton inside. There's a man on the left if he can find him. He's too slow, but Tom Walker wins it back, surges into the box and smashes the post. Wonderful effort at goal, and again Peterborough forced to clear for a throw-in. Panic stations at the back for them, and unfortunately we're still level going into the break, despite our utter dominance in attack. But Facey, with a minute to go till stoppage time, into Westbrook, back to Facey again, delivers to the back post. Tom Walker shoots and we're ahead. You can't say it's not deserved. 16 shots to 3 and 8 to 2 on target. Albeit that Peterborough have had the only clear-cut chance of the game, we're going into the break ahead in the FA Cup first round. A wonderful half of football, and aside from a defensive mistake, we've been brilliant. Let's give the team talk then. We're going to tell the lads not to get complacent. I'm ignoring the assistant for this one, and let's get back into the second half. It's Peterborough with the kick-off. They've got Tony up front still. He plays for them in real life. He scored from the halfway line against Bradford the other day as I'm recording this. And while we've got a bit of a lull in the game, I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas. It's our first episode since. I hope you had a lovely time, and I hope I did as well. Future me, did you have a good Christmas? Broger's on the end of a cross from Jack and heads it straight against the crossbar, and it's cleared away by Peterborough again. But we are causing so much trouble, and you can see how we're such a fluent side going forward. Byrne heads away the long ball from Peterborough. Jack gets the ball out. He's going to charge at them. Goes for the shot. He had an overlapping runner. Probably wasn't the best idea, but a confident striker can't always be stopped. Just over 20 minutes to go, and we're going to make some subs. I'm going to be nice. Here's a late Christmas present. Let's show you both the new signings. Shenton's off for Clark, and we're going to take Broger off and bring Lee on, and we're going to switch Owen Jack over and put him into a pressing forward role, which he tends to prefer anyway. Freeman's not had the best game on the right of midfield. We don't really have a substitute option for him at the minute. We're going to give it 5 more and then we'll let Facey have a rest because he's only just coming back from injury. I think it's his first game, so we need to look after him as he's so much better than our backup right back. 15 minutes to go and it's Peterborough with a corner. Back to the edge of the box to Chapman. Shoots just wide. Oh, well, there's only 1 goal in it. We're always going to be a bit nervy, but hopefully we can hold on. We've now got the warning to close him down. Apparently he's a goal-scoring threat after that chance. Townsend's got the ball on the edge of his own box for Peterborough. Long ball over the tops toward Buckley Ricketts. Down to Tony. What a save by Bass. And it's tipped over the bar for a corner kick. It's going to be an in-swinger from O'Keefe again. Delivered towards the front post. Oh, we missed it. What happened there? But Shay Facey on the line clears it away. And maybe we shouldn't be bringing him off because he looks like a proper talent. We are going to make some team instructions. Our usual ones, time wasting, play for set pieces. And now we're going to slow the pace down too. We're not going to drop our defensive line back because we've looked a lot more secure today. We don't want to invite pressure onto ourselves as I don't think we can cope with it, especially at fullback as we've proved already. Byrne wins the ball back in the defensive area. Facey clears it long to Owen Jack. Holds it up for Tom Walker. He's got a runner if he can find him, he can't. Tom Walker goes into Jack. It's a lovely ball. Crosses towards Lee, but it's deflected behind for a corner. And with 5 minutes to go, we're going to think about our third sub. Walker will take the corner first. It's an outswinger. Can he find a man at the back post? We're still playing our usual set piece routines. Goes towards Owen Jack, but it's headed away. And Westbrook will recycle possession for Walker. Back to Westbrook again. He's got 2 men in the middle if he can find them. He's gone back to Clark. Now McCabe down the line for Walker. Plays a 1-2 with him and the highlight ends. And now Peterborough have a throw in as we start the next one. They're coming over halfway on the counter now. Clark wins a challenge, but O'Keefe gets it back quickly. Tony holds the ball up for the fullback. Tony again to O'Keefe. Shoots from the edge and it's blocked to Chapman. Goes for the shot just wide. And we are going to make that final substitution. I don't want to take any risks with the back 9, so we're going to take Owen Jack off and just bring on Nelson as the pressing forward for the last 3 minutes. A bit of fresh energy up front to try and stop them getting the ball away quickly. Bass with a goal kick for us. Over the top towards Elliot Lee who loses out. Freeman misses the header as well. I knew I should have taken him off. Why didn't I take the risk? Buckley Ricketts is charging at us now. It better not cost us a goal. And it doesn't thanks to a brilliant Aaron Davis tackle. The 2 centre-halves have been sensational in this game, as they have so often this season. And they've needed to be due to the poor standard of fullbacks, especially while Facey was injured. Bass with a goal kick. We're into stoppage time now. There's no one there for us. It's forward to the left back. Long ball over the top. Tony could be in there, but McCabe heads it straight to the centre forward. He's won the second challenge and lost out again, and Buckley Ricketts recycles it on the left. The highlight ends, but it's a Peterborough throw, and Chapman loses out in the challenge to Freeman. Here's Fords, back to Cartwright. O'Keefe plays a 1-2 with him. Goes back out again, he's been forced backwards, not the best ball in the world. O'Keefe down the line for Cartwright a third time, deflects behind for a corner, and we're just going to drop to a cautious mentality for this one. The ball's going to be delivered, and hopefully we can deal with it. It's a free header for Cartwright, but Facey on the line for the second time in this game, and I'm so glad we've kept him on for the full 90. We'll happily rest him on Tuesday and give him a break from training too. Westbrook clears the throw and now Nelson. Oh, that's a cynical foul. That is really naughty from Whelan. He knew that they were 2-on-1 and he's only got a yellow card out of it because there was a covering man. A very clever tactical foul, but we don't like to see that sort of thing in football. Here's Johnny Byrne with a free kick on halfway, and with 5 seconds left, that's exactly what we want. The whistle will surely go as soon as he takes it, and we're going to be celebrating a place in a second round of the Cup, and hopefully we're just one step away from a big third round tie then. The whistle goes, a really good performance, not so much in the second half, but we managed to hold on. Let's give the lads the team talk. We'll tell them that they did okay, we were happy enough with it. We're not going to get passionate or anything, we expected to win, but we're calm, we're happy, and we're delighted we've got through. Let's have a quick look at what Harry Kewell said about us. He doesn't care very much for the question, so basically it's a no comment. Nearly £20,000 for getting through, in addition to a little bit of TV money. And we'll deal with the press conference off camera in a minute. I just wanted to show you one really interesting thing before we leave this episode. It absolutely baffled me just a few days ago. There were 2 jobs that came up in League One. Both Rotherham and Bolton sacked their managers, and I just want you to look at who the 3 favourites for the job are. Maurizio Sarri, bearing in mind we're only 3 years into the future, Maurizio Sarri, who started this save at Chelsea, is now the favourite for the Bolton and Rotherham job, closely followed by Marco Silva, who's currently in charge at Everton. So let me know in the comments if you've seen anything like that and whether you think that's particularly realistic, because it's the first time I've looked at this brilliant FM19 game and said what on earth is going on there. So let me know what you think, but either way, we'll be delighted to pit our wits against one of those 2 next season, hopefully. Or maybe even both if they get the 2 jobs between them. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content from my 2 FM19 stories, this one part of the furniture with Torquay United, as well as our other series, The Head Coach, where we work under a director of football with no say in transfers or contracts. If you're not up to date with that series, we had a job change recently. It's a bit more of a journeyman style. We're not just pinned down to one club, so we've been on the move a few times, so catch up with that to see where we are now. And also, if you weren't here over the Christmas period, we did do a 4-part special on the channel from FM19. Something a little bit different, but hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. But a massive thanks for watching this episode as always, and we'll see you next time.